in a game.
Once again, little hesitation, the left hand! What a move by SGA! Attacker for another block. Chet Holmgren, the long arm of the law. Back in the game. These are key minutes without SGA. And another drive! J. Dom cocks it back and throws it down.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up? Welcome to the Uncontested podcast, coming to you live Sunday, May 18th, after the Oklahoma City Thunder went belt to behind
B to B
on the Denver Nuggets in Game 7, winning 125-93. So bad that the Denver Nuggets benched their entire starting lineup with 9 minutes left to go in a Game 7. Like, at least try. That's how bad the ass whooping was in this game. I am your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. Woo! I got JD Silva with me.
Fellas.
We got Justin Peabody.
Hello, everybody.
We have so much to talk about tonight. Game 7 win, the biggest win in the past decade for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not a question, I don't think. We're going to break that one down. We're going to talk about all the moments. We're going to play some trivia. We are going to preview the Western Conference Finals, the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. They will be here in less than 48 hours.
Wild.
On the court. Here we go.
We're here.
We're gonna look at some predictions and some prophecies we made for round 2. We're gonna make some predictions and some prophecies for round 3. Before we do all of that, though, I need to let you guys know we're brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and the homies over at Prairie Artisan Ales. Look at Justin hammering a lemon slice.
Lemon slice.
Yummy.
How
so
is it?
Good. It's
Is
so
it?
good.
We got some more of the OKC Prairie glasses this weekend.
Nice.
So if you're looking for some new glassware for the house, you can go snag some of that as well. So go buy some Prairie. I'm going to tell you to buy a lot of stuff right now. So just bear with me. First, go buy some Prairie. Next, we got a guy, a buddy. I'm going to call him a buddy on twitter.com who makes these super dope. Justin, what did you call them? Like these glass paintings?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
I'm linking him in the chat right now. But they are super, super cool. If you want to check him out, if you're listening to the show, he is at HARRIZAHN, Harizon. And you can go and you can see his work. You can DM him. He's got some really, really cool stuff that he makes. So if you're looking for some new office decor, go hit that up. Also, while Justin drops this Instagram link in the chat, I'm going to show off. We got ourselves a little
Shoot.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So cool.
That is super cool. It is for those not viewing the YouTube, it is a custom basketball painted with the Uncontested logo.
It's awesome. These are done by Melody. You can find her on Instagram. You don't have to get an uncontested one. You could get a Thunder one. You should get an uncontested one. That'd be dope. You can get a Thunder one. You can get a Shai one. You can get an MVP one. You can get whatever you want. You can get one with my face on it if you want.
Well,
you can get the one with my face with the cigarette in my mouth.
now we're talking.
And then lastly, we may be getting an announcement about an award this week.
Please.
And when we do, you might want to buy some t-shirts from us.
Wink.
So go to cottonbureau.com/the uncontested. Is it just the uncontested or is it the uncontested podcast?
I don't know.
Just search the uncontested. You'll find it.
You'll find it. That's right. It should happen tomorrow, right?
I would think so.
You would think.
You would think.
You would think.
You would better have my money.
So there is all the plugs. I think we got everything out of
Plug
the
it
way.
up.
Get everything out of the way.
The Nuggets have a plug going into the wrong socket.
Hey. Okay.
Should unplug it and plug it back in again, maybe.
It should.
Wild. What a game.
What a game.
Oh,
fellas.
also get your super chats in, especially what's his name?
Dave.
Dave.
Dave to keep the streak alive.
Every time Dave gave a super chat in round 2, the Thunder
That's right.
won. When he didn't, they lost. Dave, for the people, send some money.
The Oracle, we're calling him.
Many are calling him.
Yes.
Silva, hit me with a sounder of your Game 7 feeling.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
That is
That's
that is not how I entered the game. I was full of what I would call terror before the game started.
How'd you feel 7 minutes into quarter 1?
Like I wanted to die. It was like all my worst fears have been realized. It looked like the worst of the. It looked like all the L's throughout the series. Basically, like everyone looked very nervous. Crowd looked nervous. I mean, you were there, Jacob. Was the crowd as nervous as it looked?
I was not there, brother.
Oh shit! Was Tayler there?
Taylor was
Taylor was there. Nick was there.
Okay.
Nick, so for people are calling out Nick in the chat. He is on his way home. He was at the game. He's driving back to Dallas. He will be joining us at some point, but he's doing his bestest. But he was in attendance. It sounded tense. It looked tense.
Nick said it was the loudest he's ever heard the arena in that second quarter run.
I
Justin,
believe that.
Yeah.
with about 4 minutes to go in the half, how are you feeling?
Like I wanted to light myself on fire in celebration and run around my neighborhood. It was insane. That run was insane. After the way the game started, I had the same feeling as you, Silva. The flatness felt surprising. The lack of aggression on the boards felt all too familiar. And it was like, are we really doing this again? Is this really what is going to happen in Game 7? I think it was just that initial bit of Game 7 nerves. But when those shook off and this Thunder team locked in, it felt way more like Game 2 than like any of the other games. That run they put together was incredibly impressive on both ends of the floor.
It all started on the defensive end, JD, and with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter, it's like a 2-point, 3-point game, and the Thunder go small ball. And they pulled out a move we had not really seen. We had seen 1 or 2 possessions of. We had not seen an extended period of, which was Alex Caruso guarding Nikola Jokic.
Yes.
How about
And
that?
when I say guarding, he had the brother in a leg lock and was farting in his face over and over and over.
Not literally,
Well,
I mean,
at least one.
hellion.
metaphorically.
Yeah.
Hellion.
Yeah.
The man was possessed. I mean,
Yeah.
AC's giving up 6, 7 inches and
At least.
legitimately 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the adjustment of the game and probably subsequently the adjustment of the series. The Thunder played a lot of single big today, which is something we've talked about on a couple of these post-game shows of, the pros and cons of the double big versus the single big. But to see them go single big with Alex Caruso as the primary defender of Nikola Jokic was insane. And it worked out very well in the Thunder's favor, despite what salty Nuggets fans on Twitter will tell you. It was absolutely a successful tactic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just rip and run, rip and run, rip and run for those final 3 minutes, JD.
Yeah.
Just what did you see out of that?
I saw the definition of a break in case of emergency player. And you look at this strategy that Mark deployed, there's no way in hell he could have done that the entire series. This was like last resort. This has to work. Go out there and try your hardest, Alex. We've been saving you the entire season for this moment. And he was kind of a game wrecker in Game 1 of this series also, if you guys remember. It came full circle, except it guarded Jokic and held Jokic to was a pretty like meh game from Jokic. He was like he hit 9 shots. He's mostly spent a lot of time at the free throw line, to be honest.
It was exploiting what has worked so often in the series. The Thunder were able to force Jokic into turnovers, and that was a big unlock. And I think putting Caruso on Jokic was an opportunity to turn that up to 11 today. Like you said, probably doesn't work every game in a 7-game series, but to pull that out today, one, it's a gutsy move, and two, it's an impressive adjustment from this team to find something that they've done in very, very small doses and kind of lean into it. Nuggets fans are pissed because they're saying Caruso just fouled him the entire time. You're, like you said, Jacob, you're over a foot taller and 100 pounds heavier. Like, figure it out. Figure it out at some point. If you're
I don't want to hear the fouling excuse when the free throw discrepancy was so massive in the first half.
Jokic had 8 or 9 free throw attempts like in the first quarter. He started the game with a crazy whistle. Like, come on. The only reason you can say the whistle changed is because it stopped being insane for Jokic.
Yeah.
Jokic actually, I think it really messed with him mentally because he spent a lot of possessions on offense, just like throwing himself at Caruso automatically, like taking himself.
He
out
runs
of the
down
game
the court and
almost.
tries to jump on top of dudes.
It's weird.
He does that. Like the second he crosses half court, he just starts hopping. Like
a lot of hopping.
It's obnoxious.
I like the playoffs.
He's about to go back to Serbia and hop on a horse.
Sounds pretty nice, actually.
I mean, I like the playoffs because they give us new and very specific reasons to hate teams and hate their fan bases. I never thought I could hate Nuggets fans as much as I did at times.
Oh, they're bastards. I will say, JD, is there one Nuggets player that you like more after the series than hate more?
I have so much respect for Aaron Gordon. He was unbelievable. Got diagnosed with a grade 2 hammy before the game, and Shams was like, he needs a month to heal. And then he plays anyway, and he was like basically jogging the entire game. But he
said he was playing an old man game.
He out-rebounded the Thunder on his own in the first quarter, which was I thought that was going to be the story of the game. I was like, oh, great. He's going to be a hero for this forever. But no, Aaron Gordon for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah,
the other guy we have to talk about, J-Dub.
Hey, well, there's a lot of guys we need to talk about, but
there is a lot of guys. But J-Dub today, excellent performance after a royal stinker in Game 6.
Yep, incredible performance.
And we got to listen to everyone literally trying to make like mock trades for J-Dub.
Stupid. It
was so overblown. J-Dub, people were discounting the greatness that he's experienced this postseason against Memphis. He had some very real struggles and had some very real deserved criticism for some of his performance, but it just got out of hand and went overboard. And it was great to see him put together the performance that he had today. Like, just from a personal standpoint, you love to see a young guy like that find it, especially in a Game 7. I think he was the one that said he was so excited he couldn't sleep last night. Like, I love that. He was hyped up and he brought it today. Props to J-Dub, a huge part of the blowout in Game 7.
And part of that, Justin, again, when you get in that 3-minute stretch to end the half, and it was just J-Dub relentlessly attacking downhill. He had one of the steals on Jokic. I mean, just outrunning everybody. And I thought he was incredibly good at just attacking the basket. Just put his head down, used his size, used his physicality, used his length, and just knocked dudes over, got to the rim. J-Dub's final line tonight, JD. 24 points on 10 of 17 from the field. 2 of 5 from 3. 5 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, and 1 turnover. 7-to-1 assist to turnover ratio.
Pretty damn good. His line from Game 6, 6 points on 3 of 16. His line in the second quarter of Game 7, 17 points on 8 of 11.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And I do think there's something wrong with his wrist. He's wearing the brace before the game. You can tell his shots are online, but just for some reason, super short. There was some odd-looking threes in the game, and it's like, he's probably dealing with something. Given the MPJ shot in his wrist.
Yeah, right. His aggression stood out from the word go today. When Dub is being decisive and aggressive, that's what you want to see. He may not hit all the shots, but if he's driving to the basket with decisiveness, that's usually a good sign for a good J-Dub game.
Absolutely. There's so many guys I want to talk about. There's so many subplots of this game I want to talk about.
We have some super chats.
Let's
if you'd like
hit
that
those.
to
Yeah.
grease the wheels.
Grease them.
First we have
Put that
one
grease on me.
from Connor that just says "rah."
That was me throughout most of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
accurate. Skelton says, "What did Shai unlock to figure out Denver?"
Oh, I like this question. Shai took 19 shots. Dub took 17 shots. But in the first half, like Shai was the leading shot taker, but it was like everyone had like 6 or 7 or 5. And I just thought Shai did such a good job of not forcing anything, JD. Like it never felt like he was going like hero mode. He was moving the ball. He was finding the right guy. He was making the right play. Not a lot of assists for Shai, but a lot of hockey assists for Shai. And that just opened up the rest of his game. I felt like they really picked that zone apart today.
Yeah, the biggest thing that gives me confidence in SGA is that I felt like he got better every game, and as the series went along, especially after that little smile at the end of the Denver loss, he got
now an
notably-
iconic smile.
An iconic smile now. He got notably better every game, I thought, at just processing the game and picking apart this really pesky Denver defense that I did not expect.
I agree. Next one from Beck's game. AC was the void in this series. Thunder up.
Absolutely.
That,
We touched on AC on Jokic specifically, but I think zooming out, bigger picture, what an addition to this team Alex Caruso is.
Brother.
The energy that he brought in the first quarter when things were not going well, that travel that he forced on Christian Brown, and then immediately, like that was the loudest the crowd had gotten since the start of the game. For a forced travel, he went over to the crowd in the corner and started hyping him up, cheering him on, and like they responded. That is the intangible impact of Alex Caruso.
Absolutely.
That you can't replace that on this team. They needed it.
Yeah, the stat sheet looks good for Alex for the series. 10 points on 46, 43, 67 splits, took 5 threes a game, 1.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 steals, half a block. That line, like that's fine for a bench player. And it absolutely does not come even close to doing justice for his impact on the season.
There's
Or
never
on the
been a
series.
player. There's never been a player on the Thunder that I've wanted to look at the box score less. It's just like I can watch him, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm comfortable with what I'm seeing right now. This is great.
Yep. Agreed.
Plus 40 today.
That's-
Plus
that'll
40
be
off
good.
the
Yeah,
bench in a
that'll work.
game 7.
That is insane.
That'll work. I will say with the blowout, I was proud of our stat research after game 6 about how game 7s are more often than not blowouts. Next up from our guy, Alan, let's effing go. What a win. Seeing Denver fans complaining about the refs and all the other excuses is entertaining. Too many I want to respond to. Like you alluded to, Jacob, earlier. Denver fans complaining about the whistle is rich.
It's not the Denver fans. It's the Denver blog boys.
The blog boys. Yes.
Take a seat,
next
blog
up-
boys.
From Danny. Wallace, Wiggins, and Caruso are the heroes of this series. The energy off the bench they give to the team to make runs was so important. Couldn't agree more.
Hey, not this summer. This summer, J-Dub and Chet are available for extensions. Next summer, Caruso Wallace is up. Get some money.
Yep. He absolutely.
I don't care
absolutely
who else
will.
has to leave. Like, Caruso has to stay on this team. You want to talk about a guy who was awesome in the regular season and then got to the playoffs and said, I'm just going to be even more of a badass. Caruso Wallace. I wanted to read his stat line today real quick. Did not shoot well. 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, and the one was a banked corner 3. Missed it so bad it went in. 7 rebounds or 7 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a plus 38. And maybe the play of the series. Pastor Wallace baptized a Serbian on national television on Sunday afternoon. He put that man in the basket.
It was awesome.
Yeah, he's amazing, dude.
He's got bounce. He's had multiple of those in both series so far. He's so much fun. I agree with everything you said, Jacob. He has been the definition of a playoff riser so far for this team. In his second year, incredibly impressive. I only expect that role to continue to grow. Super, super impressive stuff from Kaysen. Caruso, we already talked about. Wiggins, up and down performance-wise, but I feel like he's still played an important role in this series, and I think he could be a factor in the next series as well.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Let's move on to the King of the Prairie. I want to do two more things in this series before we move on, if that's okay. We'll start with King of the Prairie, brought to you by Prairie Artisan Ales. Justin, what do you got to say about Prairie?
Prairie, we actually got some pictures from some listeners today that were hanging out at Prairie watching Game 7. They took our advice. Prairie, keep it flowing through the Western Conference Finals. They have $3 pours of multiple beers. They have a new beer this week called Chet Happens. It's a mango margarita brewed cocktail. It's orange. It's amazing.
I need to try
They
that.
also have Shai's Secret Stuff, which is a blue hard seltzer. So whether you want to be Thunder Orange or Thunder Blue, Prairie has you covered.
Heck yes. JD, who is your King of the Prairie?
This might be the hardest one I've handed out all season. This is very difficult. I think I'm gonna give it to your doppelganger, Jacob. I'm gonna give it to Alex Caruso. I think he swung the game for the Thunder. As soon as he checked in and was guarding Jokic at the 5, I think that's what started to swing the game.
Completely changed the game. Justin, who are you going with?
I think that is a valiant selection. I'm going to go with J-Dub just because of the context and the narrative coming into this game. The people yearned for a good J-Dub game, and he delivered in a very big way today. He was absolutely massive on both ends of the floor, and I think that confidence boost that comes from today is hopefully something that carries over to the next series.
Absolutely. I'm going Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who posted a 35 ball today on 12 of 19 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, a block, 0 turnovers.
Fabulous.
Wildly efficient night. Again, the assist number is 4, but he probably had 7 or 8 hockey assists where he passed to the guy who got the assist.
35.
Shai had I know it didn't feel like 35.
No, it
It's
didn't.
like 35 at all.
This was a Kevin Durant-esque game where he drops 30 and it doesn't even feel like he ever shot the ball. Just an incredible game by the MVP.
Did he, through the 7 games, outplay Jokic?
Oh, yeah. Jokic had some massive stinkers.
Jokic had higher highs and much lower lows.
I think I agree with that.
I think that's fair. You want to know
Outplayed-
Shai's
outplayed Luka a year
stats
ago.
for the series?
Yes.
Yes.
For the series, Shai played nearly 38 minutes a game, 30 points on 53, 33, 83 splits.
That's awesome.
53 is really good.
53 is really good considering how bad it got in a couple of games.
Yep.
6.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 1.5 steal,
That's incredible.
half a block.
That's incredible.
Really good.
Adam Loves Horror with the super chat, agreeing with me. He says the King of the Prairie is Dub because of the context for sure. Thunder the F up. Love it.
Very
Can't
good.
go wrong. I agree with all 3 of those picks.
Last thing before we move on to previewing the Wolves. In the grand scheme of things, the context of this game, the context of the season, the context of the franchise, looking ahead to the 3 teams besides the Thunder who are left in the playoffs, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Wolves. JD, just what does this win mean? Like, what is the takeaway from a Game 7 win for this team?
Last year felt like an arrival of sorts for the Thunder, as in they would be playoff mainstays. this year felt like a different kind of arrival, where it's like they beat a veteran, proven champion in 7 games, a very, very grueling 7 games, a mentally straining 7 games, and prove they can grind it out, and didn't look young by the end of it. I think that's what it was.
Justin?
It was an important game given the expectations that have evolved for this team. I talked about this, I know, late in the season of this team was so good in the regular season that it probably sped up the expectations and where they should be. Today was a step toward meeting those expectations. I don't know that they've met them yet because of how high they set them for themselves, which is a good problem to have. But losing today on the counter, on the flip side, would have been devastating for where the expectations were, what the narrative is around this team moving forward. It would have been turmoil for the next 3 months. Instead, I think regardless of what happens this next series, Thunder fans can feel pretty good about the progression that this team is making against the timeline of the guys that they have.
I love it. I mean, I think this is a historic win. Everything considered, I think this is a historic win for the Thunder. This is one that when you put together the highlight reel of the franchise and the entire time Oklahoma City Thunder has been a team, this game is in that highlight package for sure, near the top.
Biggest Game 7 win in history by scoring margin.
Yes.
That's crazy.
First Game 7 in that building since 2014.
Which, by the way, I haven't addressed this on the show. I did on Twitter. It's where this shirt comes from, Jacob.
Oh, my God.
2014 Game
That's
7
amazing.
win over Memphis. I went digging through my closet
That's the
on
game
Friday.
that Zach Randolph was suspended for punching Steven Adams in the face.
I went digging through my closet and found this, and I said, well, I got to break that out for Sunday. So I've got people on Twitter telling me I got to wear this to for every game from now on. I think I might need to dip back. I need to see what else is hiding back there and see what other historic lore I can pull out.
I love it.
Might have some more.
Last time they made it to the conference finals, I was in my first year of community college. I was like 18 years old.
That's insane.
Yeah, you child.
I was a full-grown adult.
Yeah.
We've got Nick Crane.
Heyo.
joining the pod. He's back from Oklahoma City. Nick, we're just about done wrapping this one up, but I'll ask you the same question I'm asking these guys to close out. I didn't even get to finish my my statement, but that's okay. The same question I was asking these guys to close out the segment of this game today, considering the context of this team, this season, the teams that are left in the playoffs, but also the context of the entire Oklahoma City franchise from inception in 2008 to now. Just what does this game mean?
It means the best chance this franchise has ever had to win a championship is still alive. And if they had lost this game, obviously it's a different scenario. I think it'd be up there with like the 3-1 Warriors, what if, and the James Harden trade, what if. Like it would have been in the same category in my eyes.
It's fair. That's where I was going to, is one of the biggest wins of franchise history. And the door is open for an NBA title like it has never been open in the city before. The odds of this team hoisting a trophy went up considerably at about the end of the third quarter today, when it was just clear that this thing was done.
LeBron's not waiting in the finals for you this time.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
You got to get through a really good player in Ant and Julius Randle. But then after that, this is going to sound disrespectful. And if Eastern Conference teams want to listen to this, thanks for the download. But if it's Tyrese Halliburton or Jalen Brunson waiting for you on the other side, I feel way better about that than a fully healthy Boston team.
Yes.
I feel way better than that than the Miami Heatles. I feel way better with that than the LeBron and Kyrie Cavs.
You absolutely do. But credit to those teams for taking care of business. Like they're playing
Absolutely.
great. The
They
Pacers
are.
are playing really good. The Knicks are playing really good. The Thunder have been pretty successful against those teams in the regular season, but all bets are off in the finals. Like, you feel better about it than the Celtics, absolutely. But that's not to say, not to oversimplify and say that it's going to be a final sweep or something like that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you
in
feel better
comparison to
about
what
it.
it could have been.
Think about the last few times. To your point, you brought up LeBron and the Heat. The last times the Thunder have had an opportunity to compete for a championship. LeBron Heat, Dirk Mavs, Steph Curry Warriors. Are any of the three teams left at that caliber?
No.
No. So to your point, that's the point, is that the path is as clear as it's ever been. It's still a path, and you still have to walk the path, but it's the challenges that await are just different.
You are the favorite by a lot. You have the best player in the world remaining in the playoffs. You've been battle tested. Like I think this series going 7 was better than it going 5 for a lot of reasons. Like game 1, while it almost cursed the Thunder, maybe was a blessing.
Absolutely. They learned a lot about themselves this series.
Yep.
All right.
Agreed.
You guys want to take a quick break? On the other side, we will preview the Western Conference Finals. We'll be right back. And we are back. Gentlemen, let's break it down. Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. JD, let's start with a few. We'll go kind of quick through this, but just a few things from the regular season series between these two teams. Some records, statistics, etc. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I'll go pretty quick. They played 4 times, obviously. They went 2-2. And they played it was a weird series. They played on New Year's. And I think Chet was missing that one, if I remember correctly. And then they played 3 games in February on the 13th, the 23rd, and the 24th. So in pretty quick succession there. There were players missing on both sides in all of those games. For the Thunder, Kaysen and Caruso. For the Wolves, in the back-to-back, they were missing, I think, Gobert, Randall, and even Chenzo. So it's a weird sample size. Uh-oh.
Well, there's a tornado warning where I'm at.
Okay.
But that was also what I was going to say is that is also when Chet was first coming back. So I think that's noteworthy as well. I am going to check the weather, so don't call me.
You're good. And then also that last game was the one where the Thunder was up by like 30 in the fourth quarter and let go of the rope.
Yeah, I just
and
pissed it.
Yeah. That sound that Justin's phone just made, that's the sound that was playing in Jokic's head whenever AC subbed in the game.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I have a few statistics for you guys for the playoffs for these teams. Oklahoma City is averaging 117 points per game. They're shooting 45% from the field, only 32% from 3. But they're averaging 46 rebounds a game, which is third most of playoff teams. And what I think is a important number is the Thunder are forcing 10.5 steals a game. Meanwhile, you look at the Timberwolves, they're averaging 108 points a game, so 9 less. Now, I'm not looking at offensive defensive rating right now. The Timberwolves are shooting 46.5%, so 1% better. The Timberwolves are shooting 35% from 3, so much better than OKC, albeit on a lower number of attempts. Timberwolves rebounding is not nearly as good as Oklahoma City's. The Timberwolves are all the way down at 10th of all teams in the playoffs. And here's an important number, I think, is that Minnesota is 5th in the playoffs in turnovers per game at 15. When you look at the teams that were worse at turning the ball over, it's the Memphis Grizzlies. That number's probably due to the Thunder. It's the Denver Nuggets. Number has something to do with the Thunder. It's the Detroit Pistons, who were bounced in round 1, so smaller sample size, and it was the Miami Heat bounced in round 1. Bounced isn't the right word for the Heat. What's a better adjective to describe the Heat in round 1, Nick?
Burned? I don't know. Are you trying to get a play on words, or are you trying to
Annihilated.
crap on the Heat?
Well, just how bad they were. Like, what's a good word to describe how bad they were? I mean, one game they were down like 50 in the first half.
B to B, like you said at the top of the show.
Okay, belt
to
buttocks.
balls.
belt to balls. Ugh. The metals, the buckle side to the balls.
Yeah, whatever.
So I think the Wolves turn the ball over, guys.
And notable thing here, the Wolves' pace has been considerably slower than Oklahoma City. I think that's probably where the rebounding numbers
just less
are
possessions.
underinflated, less possessions. But the turnovers, if they're turning it over a lot and not playing many possessions, that's a really discouraging sign for them.
Yes. When we look at offensive rating, the Wolves and the Thunder are pretty close, within half a point. When we look at defensive rating, the Thunder are 101.6 defensive rating in the playoffs. That's stupid. Wolves are at 107. When you look at rebound percentage, the Wolves are doing better than the Thunder. The Wolves are at 52%. The Thunder are at 48%. So, anyways, we flip over. We look at points per game in the playoffs. We have for the Thunder, Shai at 29, Dub at 20, Chet at 16. Other side of the court with the Wolves, you have Ant at 26, Randall at 24, Jaden McDaniels at 15, Naz Reid at 11. So there's just a few statistics, a few things to look at as we move forward into the Western Conference Finals. Let's start here, Nick. Thunder offense versus Wolves defense. Throughout the playoffs, throughout what we know of these two teams, what are we looking at?
A lot of size, obviously, that Minnesota brings. It'll be interesting to see if like they deploy a lot of size at one time, or if they opt to kind of rotate their size and always have a couple of big bodies out there, but try to match OKC's smaller players that they'll play in bunches with like the Caruso, Kaysen lineups with other guards. Obviously, Rudy Gobert, as much as Jacob dislikes him, and this will be a fun series to listen to Jacob podcast, he can be a difference maker. Like he could be a non-factor in this series and get played off the floor. We've seen it before in the playoffs. There's also a world where he's actually really effective, and the team that gets to the rim and drives the most has a lot of trouble again because of that. But also I think we'll see a lot of zone from Minnesota. Like they played a lot of zone against OKC in the regular season, at least relative to what they normally play. And I think that they will learn from Denver and some of the things they had success with. Thunder got better against the zone as the series went on, but I think we'll see a zone defense from Minnesota. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be another series like straight up where if you can knock down threes, there's nothing Minnesota can do, but they have plenty of ways to stop the downhill action with rim protection and size.
JD, anything else you want to add to that?
The experience from the Denver series carrying over, like Nick just talked about, is exactly what I'm thinking of. Also, I just don't see. It feels like the Thunder just worked through so many different types of zone and worked through that zone specifically, and kind of had it figured out a bit by the end. They kind of went through their full tool belts and they know what to use in what situation. And yeah, what I won't do is overestimate what the Thunder will do in this series. Like I picked Denver in 5 last time, and I'm not gonna make a pick right now, but I will say, like, yeah, if the Thunder hit their shots, they just have more. They have more than the Timberwolves can handle, I think.
Absolutely. Defensively, I'm with you, Nick. I'm looking at Minnesota to play a lot of zone. In the times they do play man, you're going to see Jaden McDaniels guard Shai. I think in Minnesota's dream world, when they're in man, and if they can avoid switching, it's Jaden McDaniels and it's Gilgeous-Alexander Walker guarding Shai. I think that they want to probably put a smaller guy. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they put Ant on Chet or Mike Conley on Chet, and then let Rudy kind of just play free safety, or put Rudy on a guy like Lou Dort, for instance. That wouldn't shock me at all. And then or Julius Randle, let Rudy guard Isaiah Hartenstein. I think they want to avoid Rudy in a lot of pick and rolls with Shai, because Rudy's drop can really get exploited by that mid-range jumper.
The Conley situation is interesting. I think this is the first time in the playoffs so far. I'm trying to think back to the Memphis series too, where like I don't know if there's somebody like you just brought up a good theoretical of like where they could hide him potentially. I just don't know if we've seen a series yet where they had a guard that just doesn't match up well with anybody defensively.
Yeah,
like I don't. You can't guard Shai. I don't know. That's a X factor right there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
a little
what they do.
interesting little wrinkle. More Thunder offense versus Nuggets defense. Is this a series, JD, where we get the reintegration? And he's played minutes, but they've been very, very sparingly. Do we get the reintegration of Isaiah Joe in this series?
I do think so. To what degree? I think that'll depend on if he's hitting shots or not. He's just kind of a player that he comes and goes with his shot, I think. But there's just guys you can hide him on now that won't punish him off the dribble. You have like Mike Conley we just discussed. I think Isaiah Joe can hold up with an almost 40-year-old Mike Conley. You can stick him on even a Jaden McDaniels. I don't think he's gonna like destroy him off the dribble. Good player, but I wouldn't put that past him. There's just some more room for him, but wouldn't be shocked if he didn't play that much in general if his shot is not falling.
I think that's fair. Nick, anything else about the Thunder offense? You're muted, buddy.
This is the series where if the shots aren't falling, we can no longer say the buzzwords variance, regression to the mean. Like, if they don't make shots in this series, they're just not shot makers. That's just the reality.
I agree, and it's tough because they're getting the shots they want. They're just
they
not
got a
making
lot of
them.
great looks today that didn't fall. I mean, I don't know how many open corner threes I saw from guys like Aaron Wiggins, Caruso and Wallace that just didn't go.
Yep.
All right, let's flip to the other side of the coin. Thunder defense versus Wolves offense. JD, what are you looking for on that side of the wall?
I'm very excited for this element. I think the Thunder just played. The Thunder just played against the best player in the NBA, and we're able to kind of figure him out as much as you can figure out Jokic by the end of the
Don't tell
series.
Matt Moore that.
I won't tell Matt Moore that. It'll come for me. Ant is not anywhere near as good as Nikola Jokic, and I think you can do a lot to disrupt Ant that you could not do to Jokic. You don't have to do things. You're not gonna have to key in on one guy as much as you keyed in on Jokic. Like anytime Jokic looked, there were two guys looking at him from every direction. You're not gonna have to do that with Ant. You could do a little more. And I honestly can't wait. I think he's gonna be in hell every game.
Nick, what else do you have to add there?
This is the part of the pod where the people tweeting at me and commenting about me are going to start getting angry. And I think this is important, though, because this is not a podcast to talk about why the Thunder is going to dominate the Timberwolves. It's a podcast to talk about all the facts and what to think about. So I've been saying this for a couple weeks now, with the Wolves being a likely opponent. The archetype of player that Oklahoma City has struggled with for 2 consecutive years is the jumbo power forward that has size and strength and versatility. 2 notable examples, PJ Washington, Aaron Gordon. I think that the Timberwolves have the most of that archetype of any team in the league. Like, they have Rudy Gobert in the front court, and they have like 3 different power forwards that bring different things to the table. None of them are perfect. I think if you mushed all 3 of them together, they'd be like the perfect basketball player, but they all 3 do things differently. But with Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Naz Reid, that could be a problem. Like, if PJ Washington and Aaron Gordon are a problem, now you got 3 problems. And I agreed, like Oklahoma City's guard play matches up so well defensively. Ant is going to have a potentially a rough series. But the 3 power forwards, they worry me. They really do. And I know Jaden McDaniels has struggled from 3. Newsflash, it's a new series, and it's 6 or 7 games maybe. Guys get hot. We've seen it before. So Naz Reid is a Thunder killer historically. Julius Randle's playing really, really well. Those 3 right there are the series for me, and Thunder's defense and their ability to slow Minnesota down.
I like that. When I look defensively at this matchup, I've said it a few times. I'm going to say it again. Lou Dort's mom got pregnant, and God started cooking and said, I'm building this man to guard Anthony Edwards. Lou Dort was created to guard that man. Just like the size, the physicality, all of it. I really like that matchup for the Thunder. I've already seen some comments in the chat. Does OKC run the 2 big lineup? I think so. If I had to line them up, I think what I would do in a man-to-man matchup in this series, Shai gets Mike Conley. Dort gets Ant. Dub gets Jaden McDaniels. Hartenstein gets Julius Randle. Nick on Nick. And then Chet on Rudy Gobert. I think that's how I would start the game. And then defensively off the bench, I really like as well. You bring Caruso and Caruso and Wallace in with Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dante DiVincenzo. Like, I like the Thunder's matchup there. Naz Reid. I mean, maybe you get some J-Will minutes. Is this a series we see Kenrich Williams get dusted off? I think the size and physicality matchup there is nice. I know the Thunder have used Jalen Williams on Julius Randle and Naz Reid before. That is a size mismatch, but Jalen is really good at that. And you can't do it for like every game, every minute of the series. I'm just not going to let you tell me that Alex Caruso can't do it. If Alex Caruso is the best Julius Randle defender and goes in there and just hounds that dude, I'm not going to be surprised in the slightest. He ate Jaren Jackson Jr.'s lunch. He ate Nikola Jokic's lunch. Throw him in there against Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Why not?
Another just call out here, not offense or defense specific, but the Wolves, I'll get more when we get to our predictions for the series, but to open the can of worms, the Wolves are so much deeper than the Nuggets. And while I think it's important to look back at the matchups in the regular season in a playoff series. I take very little translation from the regular season to the playoffs, but the one thing I do take away is the Wolves, when they had success against OKC this year, a lot of times Ant was on the bench, which is not a slight at Ant, but I think that's very different than the Nuggets series, where you look to win the Jokic minutes, and you generally can. The Wolves have proven that they match up well with OKC without Ant on the floor. So it's going to be very different. Keep having guest spots.
We now have
I
Taylor
know.
Peterson on the show.
Taylor.
Welcome,
What a weird group podcast. We're just like constantly rotating through hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin's fighting a tornado right now. Nick showed up after coming back from OKC, and
After driving through tornadoes.
Taylor finally gave his kid some sleeping medicine.
Correct.
There you go.
We're here.
Give him a
Better
prairie.
late than never.
Gentlemen, any other thought on Thunder defense versus Wolves offense?
Nah.
I've
I
got
agree.
a lot.
I agree with you, Nick. The Wolves are a deeper team. They have 8 guys who are like legit 8 rotational guys.
Which is way more than Denver.
Yeah,
Denver had like maybe 6.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like Strother doesn't count. He had that one weird breakout game, but then like
He
other
pissed
than
his
that,
pants
he was
it
either
wasn't a
unplayable.
breakout game, brother. It was a flash in a pan.
That's true. That's true. Other than that, he was
Broke clock was right twice a day.
he was either unplayable on the bench or turning the ball over and lost on defense every other time.
Blind
Agreed.
squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
Hence the importance of Aaron Gordon playing tonight, or today.
Yeah.
I just like the Thunder's defensive matchups. I would say in this series, any team, I like the Thunder's defensive matchups. Like, the offense has not been great this postseason. Nobody can deny that. The defense has been freaking incredible the entire postseason. They've just been awesome. And when push really comes to shove, again, I am going back to my simple stat of the Wolves tend to turn the ball over. The Thunder are the best team in the NBA at turning you over. You combine those two things, I like where the Thunder are at. JD, before we move on to the next part of this Western Conference Finals preview, and we'll start getting some of Taylor's thoughts in here, will you take us through some of these super chats we've been getting?
Yes. Let me see.
Silva, while you do that, can I ask you guys really quick?
Yes.
I'm just curious your guys' thoughts because I've had people ask me about it, and I think it's a really interesting part of this matchup. Who did you guys say in this previous segment that you guys thought would be guarding Julius Randle for the Thunder?
I said Hartenstein and AC.
Love it. That's what I was thinking too after AC's performance today, but it's something we've talked about ever since he came onto this team. The way he guarded like Cat and some of those bigs when he was with the Bulls. I think we saw that again today. Like, obviously that's not sustainable through a 7-game series, which is why we didn't see it quite as much this series. But yeah, I'd love to see some Caruso time on Randle, which is why I asked. I think I'm losing my voice again.
I know, dude. I bet that game was insane. All right, got one from David Skelton. It says, Minnesota have offensive issues and played no one. OKC in 5. Got one from
David Skelton has found the Lord.
He has.
David
he was so happy after the
pops
game.
in, drops a grenade, walks away. I love played no one includes the Lakers.
The shade. I love it.
Amazing. That's amazing. Another one from Adam Loves Horror. How much J Will do we see in the next round? Rudy only scores inside and won't attempt threes. Nas makes threes. Wonder how Hart, Chet, J Will are used.
It's a really good question. I mean, as well as J Will played this series, I think he's definitely going to get some burn, but I'm not sure it's going to necessarily be a J Will series, if that's fair.
I think it very much could be. I think J Will was really impressive last series. I kind of like him in the Rudy Gobert matchup. I think he'd be interesting in the Nas Reed matchup.
Yeah, he's the big that so Chet can space the floor, force Rudy out, but Rudy has some size and some strength on Chet on the other end of the floor. Jalen Williams can hold his own with his weight and his strength on the one end, but can also space the floor. And I think there's advantageous stuff for J Will, and I think he's well deserving of more minutes after what we saw this series.
Definitely.
Next one from El Sombra Reggio. Agree 100% with Nick Crane on shot making against the Wolves. Joe should have success in this series, but I think we've found he's a regular season guy.
I'm not so sure. I'm glad you touched on that, Nick, because I think this, like I said, when Joe was going through his struggles in this series, I think next series could be a Joe series. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's back in the rotation early on in those first handful of games, see how he performs.
I don't know if he's a regular season guy versus he's a selective series guy.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. Another one from David. I still love you, Nick. Here's money.
Cheers, David.
What kind of beer you rocking, Nick?
Fourth quarter.
Hey,
David, we'll see if you still love me when we do predictions.
Everyone needs to be nicer to Nick.
I love it. Bring it on.
I disagree.
I'm like Trey
Bully
Young at
Nick
Madison
more.
Square Garden.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
All right.
One more from Danny. Just wanted to thank you boys for the Thunder content. Don't get enough coverage on mainstream media, but you guys always deliver. Thanks,
That's
Danny.
awesome. Shout out Danny. Very cool.
Salute, Danny. Hey, why am I forgetting his name? Who's homeboy that needs to send us some money?
Yeah. We win every time he sends us
What's
money.
his name? Justin knows his name.
Why did I just...
Is it Dave?
Dave.
Hey.
Where the hell are you, Dave?
Dave, we're all waiting on pins and
Dave,
needles.
we're
Dave,
literally
we're
going to the podcast tomorrow and just wait for you to send us money if you don't.
If Dave doesn't send money live, we're gonna go live like Tuesday mid-afternoon and just wait for Dave to jump on.
Are you here?
We'll stay on long enough for him to give us a super chat, then we'll log right off.
We will refund you, Dave, but this has become a thing.
Yes, Dave. Please, Dave, send the money. Put the
Send the
money in the
video.
bag,
It's a
Dave.
The
sacrifice.
video.
I love this. We've done this the third time now. That's the same series preview outline, excluding Shai, because duh. Who are the 3 biggest X factors in this series for OKC? At least one has to be a bench guy. You each get one, so we'll do 4. Biggest X factors for this series. Tayler, you joined late. You should not get the benefit of going first, being tardy to class. I will give it to you anyways. Who is your
Thank you.
X factor for this series?
Well, since I'm the tardy student here, I'm also going to go with the easy answer. And I think the X factor for this series for me is Chet Holmgren. Going back, playing against his whatever you want to call it, childhood team that he grew up rooting for back home in Minnesota. Chet has some really great moments this series, but kind of like we've seen from him coming back from injury, it hasn't necessarily been consistent on both ends of the floor. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Chet's offensive game really get going here in this Western Conference Finals. I'm expecting a pretty big series out of Chet, and I'm really excited to see what he brings.
I like it. Nick Crane, who are you going with?
Caruso and Wallace. I think that this is a series. Like we talked about the Thunder growing as a team this last series. I think players grow as well, and more quickly in an expedited fashion in the playoffs. I think that what we're seeing in front of our eyes is the aggressiveness and kind of bulldog nature of Lou Dort is starting to lend into Carson's game, but then also the ability to guard taller players, block jump shots of taller. Like I think that the Caruso style is also being implemented with Carson, and I think that like while Lou Dort's built in a lab, like Jacob says, to build to guard Ant Edwards, like I think Carson
Built by God, not the lab.
I think
there's
Carson,
divine intervention here, brother.
I think Carson's like the kind of guy that we're going to see in this series. Similar to the way Caruso, it's like he can just guard anybody. I think Carson's getting to the point, not Jokic, because he's not near tall enough, but I think that like we may see Carson on like Jaden McDaniels, like gives up some size, but he's pesky. And if Jaden's not super sound with the ball, get a couple of like, I think Carson's the guy. All I have to say.
I like that one.
Silva, before you go real quick. Nick, we talked about this before you got on the show. I'm going to go a step further. Like, I kind of think Caruso and Wallace should start next season. Like, I think he's that good. The Ed Reed comp that Mark had for him at rookie press conference. I mean, they blitzed Jamal Murray on a pick and roll. He jumped. I said it. I was watching the game with my parents. Jamal jumped for a jump pass. I was like, you never jump whenever you're passing it out of a trap. Only had one outlet, which was Jokic. Caruso and Wallace blitzed it from the other side of the floor, came over. As soon as Jokic got his hands on the ball, it got knocked free. And I mean, the dude is a ball hawk. He is a ball hawk. And I absolutely love it when a perimeter player wants to go one-on-one with Caruso and he gets his ass like 4 inches from the ground and has that arm out, just like slapping at it like he's trying to hold your hand, like he's trying to slap your nutsack. Incredible stuff from Caruso and Wallace.
Like a drum?
Yeah,
like a drum. We got Chet Holmgren. Oh, go ahead.
I was talking to someone about this today. I do think Caruso starts next year. But I also think offensively it makes a lot more sense because the rabbit hole for the offseason. I still don't think Shai is a point guard. I don't think he ever was a point guard coming out of Kentucky. Like he's kind of like a Devin Booker. Like he's a ball dominant scoring guard that happens to play point guard and can distribute. I think he needs to play longer term alongside another more point guard type player, i.e. Caruso and Wallace versus Lou Dort. And I think that the inability of, to this point, Shai and J-Dub to like coexist as a 1-2 and like make each other. It's like, I'm going to ISO, then you're going to ISO. It's not like a Jamal Jokic where they play off each other.
Like a Tatum Brown thing right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think Caruso opens up a lot if he's in the starting lineup and can be more of a point guard. Shai's going to have the ball in his hands a bunch, but I think for a lot of reasons, Caruso makes a lot of sense. He's got to make the three. Like that's the thing that's going to put him over the edge of starting over Dort is making threes.
I agree. Yep. Carson's been incredible. He's so young. He's got so much in front of him. I think I can't say right now because Alex has been so good. I think next year Kaysen's the 4th best player on the team. And I don't know if it's an argument. JD, who is your X factor? We've got Chet, we've got Kaysen. Who are you going with?
Potentially an obvious one, but I'm going to go with Jalen Williams, J-Dub, in this one. Who is he going to be in this series? How healthy is he? Does he have a wrist issue? Is that going to affect him in this series? Feels like he overcame some demons this series. Like he was from almost hero of game 3 to on the trade block game 6. He's
from
been
fans, to be clear, but yes,
from fans only. But just who is he in this series? Is he has he found a new level of confidence after that last series? Would love to see it. If he plays normally, like if he averages his normal numbers, this is a much less competitive series, I think.
Totally agree. I like the list. Kaysen, Chet, and J-Dub. 3 good guys. 3 guys that I think are going to be on this team for a long time moving forward as well. 3 biggest worries of the series, boys. Boys. What's the 3 biggest worries, boy?
It's easy.
Bobby.
Easy,
Could be
easy,
matchups, lineups, coaching, scheme, whatever. Nick, if it's easy, give us your first one.
It's 2 words, and I'll say it exactly how the Thunder PA guy says it when he makes a big 3 like 11 times a night against the Thunder. Nas Reed. You're going to get sick of hearing that. When you're at games and he makes a 3, you hear the Nas Reed.
Justin survived a tornado.
Well, hey guys, what'd I miss?
Yeah, Justin, that's what I drove through to get to my house on the way back from Oklahoma City.
And then it hit you.
I just spent most of the podcast in my under the stairs closet watching our boy Rick
Harry
Mitchell.
Potter.
Yeah, like Harry Potter. And then in true Okie fashion, I spent a good portion out on my front porch trying to see if I could see anything.
There you go.
Did you have the prairie in your hand?
No, I left that. I left that at the desk. Good reminder though. Thank you.
You can take the Okie out of Oklahoma.
That's right.
But
anyway, got to wake up all 3 kids who were sleeping soundly and drag them with me. So anyway, we're all settled. How's it going?
at least you didn't lose electricity this time, and it didn't fry like all your electronics.
Yeah,
last year.
That's a plus.
Worry 1. Nick goes with Nas Reed. JD, what's worry number 2?
Potential inability to rebound because of all the big players on Minnesota. I think I see myself being very angry game to game with just not being able to grab easy rebounds.
That is fair. The Minnesota Timberwolves are second in the playoffs in offensive rebound percentage at 35%.
I think second chance points is probably what Silva's getting at too, is like the residual effect of that.
Yeah,
absolutely. Justin, biggest worry of the series. We've already gone Nas Reed and offensive rebounding. Shooting, okay.
Shooting. It has to be shooting. It was my worry last series, and they did nothing to quell it. It is still shooting.
Including today's game. I'm with you.
They shot 25%-ish from 3, and they won in a blowout. So can you do that against the Wolves? I think for me, the biggest thing that scares me about shooting is the Wolves actually have interior defender, unlike the Nuggets. When the Thunder needed a basket, they could kind of go in the paint whenever they wanted. They just didn't want to go in there as much as I'd liked. Can you do that against the Wolves? I think it becomes much harder. I think what we saw in the regular season series and what we've seen from Minnesota in the postseason, they're going to do a lot to try to get the ball out of Shai's hands, and they're going to try to make the others beat you. And from what I've seen through 11 games in the playoffs so far, I don't know that they can. And they're going to have to reverse that trend.
Before we move on, JD, will you pull up that Meek Leak comment again?
Meek Leak,
so good.
Yeah.
Must be fun living in a place where your house might just get destroyed randomly. Brother, you are from New Zealand. There's pictures of like a dingo eating a shark on the beach and like a 20-foot snake wrapped around a
spider's
airplane.
As big as your face.
Yeah.
And it's not randomly. We do know ahead of time.
No, you don't.
Well, we kind of know
just
if it's
not like a lot ahead of time.
We know about
you
10 minutes.
I was mid-sentence when the tornado siren went off.
You knew there was severe weather today. Like the last one
that came through and hit didn't hit my house, but like the area that I live in. I went to bed that night.
Yeah.
I was on the back porch. Everything was great. And then all of a sudden you wake up at 4 a.m. and there's a ton of wind.
They're saying there's no snakes in New Zealand?
Not a single one?
Nothing.
There's
poisonous,
Apparently,
he
all the
says.
dangerous stuff lives in Australia,
There is at least one snake in New Zealand.
and his name's Meek Leak.
Shout out Meek. Meek's one of the homies.
Uh,
He says not a single
Not a
one.
single
You
one.
lying son of
Snakes
a
are
bitch.
outlawed in New Zealand.
no snakes allowed.
We got Nas Reed. We've got rebounding. We've got shooting. Those are two big parts of basketball.
Yeah.
Not Justin, Tayler, the last worry for this series.
Taylor's going to say, points in transition where the big gets the rebound and kicks it to a wing who then has a secondary outlet pass to a point guard and then scores on a layup.
And let me pull up the stats. No, kind of in the same vein as Justin. Mine is zone defense. I don't remember where I heard this, so apologies. And I also, because I joined the podcast 40 minutes late, don't have the stats pulled up in front of me, but I am going to pull those
Thank
up later
God.
tonight. The Wolves, when they played against the Thunder, like in totality of the season, the Wolves haven't played very much zone defense at all. But the majority of zone defense that they deployed in the regular season came against the Thunder in those matchups. And I mean, we just saw the Nuggets pretty much give you the blueprint on how to defend the Thunder, especially when you're throwing out zone. And so we're going to see quite a bit of that. I think you guys have already probably talked about the defenders and the length and athleticism that the Wolves present defensively against the Thunder. And when you combine that, obviously in that zone defense, we saw Shai. I mean, he had some great games against the Wolves, but we saw them, those defenders, those archetypes, especially for the Wolves, kind of give Shai trouble in the past. J-Dub, like Silva mentioned, that's going to give him some troubles. So zone defense, you have to be able to take what you learned from this series against the Nuggets and be able to put it into action, I think, against this Wolves team, because I think you'll see some very similar matchups that we saw, I think, this previous series.
I like that. I'm getting worried. We're an hour and 7 minutes in. No David.
No David.
David, we need you.
We also lost
David.
Nick. We keep losing
No.
people, adding people.
Back.
Nick's back.
David, where are you at, David?
Taylor, I think no, you make a good point. I think I don't have the numbers,
Thank
but
you.
but you're correct in thinking. Well, not many teams play a ton of zone in the regular season, but
Right.
zone was played against the Thunder. It was like a notable thing that Minnesota played a lot of zone against OKC. I feel better about the zone offense for OKC. Part of me wonders if Mark was not doing some things he thought might work until he
I said
had
that
to.
the other day, Nick.
Like today, it's such a simple concept. They were screening the guys at the top of the zone.
Yes.
So there's two
Yes.
guys. He has to make a decision, and they were not making good decisions. And it's like, why didn't we see more of this early? Like, I don't think Mark was like throwing games, but like I think
Yeah,
Mark
and I
probably
don't- I
knew
don't
some of
think
this
Mark
stuff
was
would
like,
work.
Should we maybe screen one of those guys?
Right.
You know, I don't want to say they were sandbagging, but it's almost like they were leading Denver into like this false sense of security.
Again, I said this the last time you said this. If you're sandbagging your way to a game 7,
Yeah,
that's
you're right.
malpractice.
Yeah.
But to your point, Nick, I feel better about Minnesota's zone having gone through Denver's. Because they've been having to work through the mud the last 7 games. Now, Minnesota's going to look different. It's not going to be the same. I think Minnesota's has the potential to be better, but the experience they gained in the last 2 weeks is going to help them in this.
And I think you look at those last couple of games, last 3 games really of this series, and we saw what Justin, you and I talked about here. I can't even remember which podcast it was, but one of the podcasts over the past week, the Thunder were finally able to get behind that zone when Jokic was playing up so high. And that resulted in so many opportunities to beat that zone, right?
Hey, I gotta tell you, I can't remember the minute mark because I wanted to clip it and actually do like a little video breakdown. But there was a zone possession today where Shai had it at the top, swung it to J-Dub on the left side. Caruso came from the right corner, flashed to the free throw line. Dub hit him with the pass. And then in one corner was Chet, and the other corner was Dort. And as soon as Caruso flashed to the free throw line and Dub threw that pass, as soon as that happened, both dudes on the baseline, backdoor cut to the rim, resulted in a Chet dunk. And I was like,
That's how you
beautiful.
beat a zone.
Beautiful.
Outside of shooting.
The man movement off of the zone was just, it was beautiful today.
Or just make a 3-point shot
That
Jeez.
helps
at
too.
a
Correct.
33% rate.
Shoot it as well as I shoot it.
Yeah.
And round 2 is a 5-game series.
Yep.
I can't shoot, folks.
Indeed, I can confirm.
All right, you bastard.
He can pass though.
My jumper's prettier. It's a lefty.
That is true.
Nick, finish the sentence. Wolves win the series if.
It's the first one that I've had to answer that's not like if there's no injuries. The Wolves win if they dictate style of play and they are like deploying their size and they're playing like Gobert with like 2 of their power forwards and they're just like overwhelming the Thunder with size.
Okay. Justin, Wolves win the series if.
OKC allows Julius Randle to continue being so effective.
JD, Wolves win the series if.
If they win the second chance points battle by a lot.
Okay. Going back to the Julius Randle one from Justin for just a moment. Randle's averaging 24 points on 51, 35, 89 splits, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 turnovers.
This is his best playoff run ever, pretty easily.
This
But
is his best
absolutely.
NBA run ever.
Yeah.
No, he was
Yeah,
really
that-
good that one year with
I-
the Knicks.
he had
That
the
all
All-Star
NBA
year.
season.
Made an all NBA
But-
team, I think.
Look at the Lakers and look at the Warriors and look at who they have on the interior.
Yeah.
Compared to who the Thunder have.
I saw a
Jackson
tweet
Hayes.
that the Wolves are going to be prepared for the Thunder's defense because they face the Golden State Warriors defense, and I just love
Brother.
Warriors defense
laughing.
it is not bad, but it's not the same.
Pods ain't Case and Wallace, buddy. I don't care that they're both white.
What?
Wait, what?
I think that was on
Oh,
purpose.
Case, I'm sorry, Alex Caruso. Case and Wallace is not white. My bad.
What?
I thought you did that on purpose.
No, that's a good sounder. Oh, I totally brain farted there. Whoops.
That's amazing.
Oh god.
All right. So
I'd like to see Alex Caruso with Pod's hair.
That's amazing.
Someone please Photoshop.
Photoshop.
that.
I might have
Make
to
it
do that
happen.
later.
Yeah, you guys can clip it. That was horrible.
That's amazing.
Folks, I don't see color, all right?
You'll see a lot of things.
Oh my god.
All right. Wolves win if Nick said they dictate style of play. Justin said if Julius Randle keeps up on doing Julius Randle things. Has somebody else gone? I've lost
Silva.
track. So what did Silva say?
Second chance points.
Second chance points. Taylor, Wolves win if.
We've already talked about 3-point shooting, and we already have talked about breaking down the zone defense. So I'm going to say the Wolves win if somebody outside of Shai doesn't consistently show up alongside him. And I think Dub and Chet, like you're going to have big series from each of them.
Don't read it. Don't read it.
read it.
Don't read it. Resist. Jacob, Timberwolves win the series if.
Oh, I get to answer? Timberwolves win the series if. This is a tough one, man. You guys have taken all the good answers.
Don't read
it. Oh, I
You've
love
got
you,
really
Steve.
low hanging fruit. Take care of the ball.
Sounds erotic.
Take care of the ball.
Yeah, if the Wolves don't turn the ball over.
Like that's any team. The Thunder's defense is I'm not gonna call it bad. Thunder's defense is not elite if the other team takes care of the ball. Like there's been halves in this playoffs where like a team will have 4 turnovers in the first half, and like the Thunder's defense is not all that great because they overplay, they're aggressive, they play the risk reward of overdoing things, and if you don't turn it over, it's not that effective.
Ant's big deal in the Lakers series was that he like never turned the ball over in that series.
Right.
But Lakers cannot play the same brand of defense.
I'd blitz Ant a lot
But-
this series.
Yeah.
I'd
But
blitz him a lot off the screen.
in the Warriors series, that wasn't the case at all. And the Warriors defense, like you brought up earlier, Taylor, a lot better than the Lakers. You know whose defense is a lot better than the Warriors? Thunder.
Good answer. JD, Thunder win the series if
They shoot somewhat normally.
It's a big if.
easy enough.
It is a
Taylor,
big if.
Thunder win the series if
I'm trying to come up with something we haven't touched on yet. I'm just going to say Thunder win the series if Shai performs at an MVP level like we saw this last game, Game 7.
I think if you could say if Shai has the same stat line in the Western Conference Finals as he did in round 2.
Yep.
I think you could go with that. I don't know, Taylor, I don't think you were here whenever we read it, but 11 games played in the playoffs. Shai, 29 points on 48, 30. Or sorry, that's the entire playoffs. I wanted to go for last series only. Pause.
11 games, gross. Last 10, 30.4 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, 6.5 assists per game, 1.6 steals per game, 49, 31, 85 shooting splits, 31 from 3 isn't amazing, but 59
That'll get it done.
shooting per, yeah.
That'll get it done.
I like
Justin.
the last 10 a lot better than the last 11.
Justin,
I'm
Thunder
gonna-
win the series if
They turn Minnesota over, to kind of piggyback on the discussion we were having in the last one. That's what I had down. Minnesota had 3 straight games with 21 turnovers against the Warriors.
That's
And-
40 points for the Thunder.
Well, and you know what it was for the Warriors? It was about 10 points each game. That's not
insane.
happening against
No.
Oklahoma City.
No.
If they are careless with the basketball like they were against the Warriors, the Thunder will feast on that.
That'll be
Now-
blowouts.
It is interesting because I feel like the Timberwolves tend to play to their level of competition. And like the no Steph Warriors, the Timberwolves, I think, took their foot off the gas. They were sloppy. I would expect them to not be as sloppy against Oklahoma City.
This will be the ultimate test of what is it, rest versus rust. The
Yeah.
Timberwolves have been resting, and they've played 2 teams that I think are at a much lower level of
That's a great point.
talent than the
Yep.
Thunder. So it's going to be a hell of a shock for the Timberwolves, I think.
That's
Game 1.
kind of what I was thinking too. So it's like the Thunder are almost in this perfect position where they've had the benefit of both. You got that rest after the first series. You went through a grueling series against the Nuggets, but knock on wood,
You got some rest today.
relatively healthy, right? Got some rest today, but you're not having a week off again. Like you're still coming into to game 1, like after playing
Absolutely.
very sharp. So
And Justin, you said like the Wolves can be sloppy, even if they're a little sloppy. Teams that are not sloppy at all, the Thunder will turn you over 10 times.
Silva, play the sounder.
Oh, shit.
I was waiting for the sloppy.
I know. That one's here somewhere.
Justin, have you gone yet?
Yeah.
You just went. I'm
just
losing
went.
track, dude.
I think
Nick,
you're up.
Thunder win the series if
Chet and Dub combined for 40 points per game.
okay.
Wow.
That would be erotic.
Okay.
I do think Chet is a bit of an X factor in this series
Yeah.
against Minnesota's interior.
Absolutely.
That was my X factor. Well, you were hiding from a tornado. Look
Hey,
at us.
Hey, we
Look at
say
us.
it. We say it every time Chet plays Minnesota. It's a homecoming for him going up there to Minnesota.
Sleep in his
He
own
did-
bed. Eat some of his mama's home cooking.
Oh,
There you go.
Look out.
watch out. He did say like it's really cool and kind of a full circle moment when he was asked about it after today's game, and Nick was there. Because he said, Nick, he didn't get to play like his season opener,
Game
or his
1.
career opener should have been against Minnesota, but he got hurt in the program.
My Thunder win the series if you get the same Alex Caruso you've got for the previous 11 games of the playoffs. I've said it multiple times. I'm going to
Yep.
say it
Huge.
again. Alex Caruso is the type of player that wins you a title. Alex Caruso is the type of guy that takes you from winning 2 in the Western Conference Finals to 16 wins a ring. That's the type of player he is. If you get Alex Caruso performances like you have been, you win the series. I think
Adam loves horror with the super chat. Minnesota wins if Kaysen looks like Jacob Niffen.
that would not be good. If Kaysen turned white and bald, although he is Caruso's protege.
This is true.
Let's make some fun bets. Some what do you call those when they're like
Prop
prophecies.
bets.
prop bets?
Prophecies.
Yep. We've been calling them prophecies. That's right. Nick, you got a prophecy? Stare into your crystal ball. JD, do we have a crystal ball sounder?
No,
What
sir.
does the crystal ball sound like?
JD, can you give us an audio sounder from your own throat?
I do think you have a crystal ball sounder. I remember.
Oh, I
this.
used to, for sure.
Yeah.
There's just I had to make room and it got deleted. It's like
I've seen Silla's
There-
soundboard
see?
like a couple weeks
Thank you,
ago.
JD. Came from
You're
his
welcome.
throat.
straight from the throat.
Straight.
Straight from the throat.
All right, Silva. After
Clip
each
that,
person
please.
makes a prophecy, you got to pop off just a random sounder, whatever you want.
Okay.
Nick's got the first prophecy.
This is a boring one, but I'll go with it. The starting lineup is not the same for the Thunder every game this series.
I don't think that's as. Oh,
Every
I
game
forgot
is-
about the sounder.
Yeah, play the sounder again.
In the multiverse.
I don't think that's as boring as you think it is, Nick. Because that's I mean, the start of the second half today, I thought they should change the lineup, but I didn't think they would because that's just not their MO.
Yeah.
I
Mark-
think that
Mark
would be
is
a big
very-
change.
Mark is very much like, it's game 7. Why would we change something now? We've been great all year.
Yeah, right.
That's fun. Do you know how excited I'll be if Kaysen is like starting a game over Lou Dort? I would be so excited. No shade to Lou, but I'd be pumped.
I don't know that it'll be Kaysen though.
Yeah, it'll be
No,
a
it wouldn't
small
be.
It'll
lineup.
be Caruso.
Yeah, no.
It'll be a small lineup. I don't think it'll
Justin.
be Dort's going to start regardless.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Justin, stare into your crystal ball. What do you see?
My prophecy is
You look
that
like that guy from the meme where it's like, you trade me your best player and I give you nothing.
you the background and everything, bro.
Yes, yes.
That's amazing.
my prophecy is that number 7 logs a game with 7 blocks.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Heyo.
That's
His
a lot of
highest
blocks.
his highest in the previous series was 4 blocks in game 1. His highest in the Memphis series was 5 blocks in game 2. I think Minnesota, as much as they can shoot from deep, I think funneling them into Chet and letting him roam around a little bit without the threat of Jokic in the middle is going to open some stuff up. Latvian laser.
What's he doing nowadays? Is he playing overseas?
It's a good question.
Taylor, what is
My
stare into your crystal ball?
What was
start,
that?
like rubbing on it.
Oh,
my
What?
Lord have
yeah.
mercy, I'm about to bust.
Can I get a Riz sounder, please?
Well.
Bow, wow, wow,
oh
wow.
boy.
All right, Taylor, what did you just see looking into that ball?
As I rubbed it. Chet. Mine's also Chet related, which means he's probably due for a stinker of a series. But I have Chet has his first 30-point career playoff game against his hometown team. I think we finally
Love it.
see Chet have a big-time offensive performance. Never enough chocolate, and I can't wait to see more.
I don't know why that sounder makes me uncomfortable every time.
What was the context of
don't
that?
We were comparing Thunder players to like desserts or something back in the tanking years.
Stretched for
I'm not
content.
sure that helps.
Yeah. We had to. Yeah. Look at us now.
Oh, my.
Look at us.
JD,
I
the crystal
think
ball.
here it is. the
telling
crys-
ya.
I'm looking inside the crystal ball. I think
Give us your Bobby
Crystal
Porter
eyes.
size.
that hurts. I think that Anthony Edwards gets ejected in one game.
Ooh,
Wow.
Seems a little sexy.
I like it.
I hope that doesn't come true.
Yeah, I think they're gonna just torment him the entire series, and he's gonna get pissed off about
So
it.
you hope that doesn't come true?
Yeah. I hope
Why?
that doesn't. Because
You
that's
don't want him
not
to get
fun.
kicked out of a game?
No.
Late in the game when it's already decided. How about that?
Okay, fine.
An honorable ejection.
I don't care about excuses at this point. I just want the Thunder to win.
Sure.
I'd be
Yeah.
fine with it.
Yeah. You got to have a little luck to make it through the playoffs.
Everybody's gone.
Yep.
We're still here.
I hate you. All right, my crystal ball. My crystal ball is telling me two things. Thing number one, Silva, you can bust out a sounder for each of these if you'd like.
Okay.
Crystal ball number one. Shai gets a triple-double in a game. Throw some mayo on that glizzy. Crystal ball prediction prophecy number two. Lou Dort locks up Anthony Edwards so bad the man considers quitting basketball and actually being a father. I've never made a parlay in my life.
Jesus.
That's insane.
These are getting spicy.
All right.
Are we looking at prophecies from last round and seeing if they came true, or are we not doing that?
Yes, JD, you want to pull those up?
Wow,
Courtesy
what a
of Thunderstick.
segue.
Nick, it's like he's podcasted before.
Boom.
Justin, why don't you read us your prophecy and your reality?
The only ball knower on this podcast. My prophecy was that J-Dub will be the leading Thunder scorer in one game this series, and he was in Game 3. A sad Game 3, but a J-Dub 32 piece.
Taylor, you want to read yours? Read your answer to the class, Taylor.
Man, I'm really pumping up Chet and believing in him 2 series in a row here. But last series, I said Chet will have at least 2 games in the series with 4 or more blocks. He had 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 0 blocks, 2 blocks, 1 block, and 1 block.
1 fish, 2 fish, red fish,
3
blue
fish. That's
fish.
exactly what I was
He had
thinking
4
of.
blocks in Game 1.
Okay.
So you
Other
got 1,
games.
just not
Game
2.
1 through game
Yeah.
1, 4 blocks. Okay, gotcha.
Before we go to Silva's, I was gonna troll him because I thought he was way off. It actually wasn't as far off as I thought.
No, it wasn't.
Also, Adam Loves Horror has sent us like 3 more super chats. The brother keeps nickel and diming us, and I kind of love it. JD, would you read your answer to the class, please?
I said that J-Dub would score more points in this series than Jamal Murray. J-Dub scored 123. Jamal Murray scored 145. So not that
I
far.
wasn't too, yeah.
If he didn't drop 6 in Game 6, that might have come true.
Yep.
Yep.
You're off by about 3 points per game, which is not bad.
Nope.
Nick, would you read us yours?
I said, that's probably the worst. Jokic and Shea would both have 50-point games this series. Neither did. Neither got close.
Jokic had 42
44.
and 44.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ain't that close.
I went
Fair.
Caruso is on the floor closing every game. He closed 1, 4, 5, and 6. Did not close 2, 3, 7. In my defense, 2 and 7 were blowouts, and there was no
Touche.
reason for him to close. So I
Sure.
only missed on game number 3.
Yeah, you still got to know. You're not a ball knower. I don't care if it's 1 or 3.
Like I said, only one of us on the pod.
Yep.
After first
Just-
round, I was
just
the
as
only
balls.
one whose prediction was wrong. This feels like vindication.
I want nothing more than for us to come up with some kind of like gamification system for our Patreon subscribers to become certified ball knowers, and we like send out certificates and
Wow.
Oh, I like
cool.
that.
Wow.
Nick,
Sick.
Ooh. That's a great
Every-
idea.
every once in a blue moon, Nick just has this wonderful idea for the podcast. He just pops in, drops something, and then leaves.
bye.
JD, will
We
you
sound
pull
like
up?
Cat.
My girlfriend did not know that Cat was zesty, so we had to
Oh,
watch the
boy.
videos today.
Oh,
He's
that's
a
good
zesty
research.
Assassin.
I do want to hit. How many of these Adam Loves Horror comments do I need to hit?
All of them. If you
Oh,
paid
no,
for them,
just-
you're showing them.
All well, I know that.
Justin
but
was
like,
in. Justin was in.
I was
tornado
in
for a while.
the, I was under the
Oh,
stairs.
I
I
see
don't
what
know
you're
what we've
saying.
already talked about.
I see what you're saying.
We have done underneath the comment that I starred, Justin. That says,
Yeah,
"Is
I see
Justin
that.
okay?"
I
We
saw
can do
that.
those 3.
Thanks for starring that. Adam Loves Horror says the X factor is Julius Randle if he's average OKC in 5. I agree. That was what I said as well. He also says Minnesota wins. Oh no, we already read that one.
Oh shit!
If Kaysen looks like Jacob Niffen. And last but not least, almost midnight where I live outside Detroit. Got to get some sleep. Y'all enjoy those balls of crystal. This was fun. Hashtag Sam Presti fan club. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Balls of crystal is what I would have been doing if the Thunder lost tonight.
I don't know what that means.
Crystal meth.
Crystal meth.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Obviously.
Oh,
Obviously.
I hate that Silva and I just rattled that off the same
oh
time.
my goodness. All right. For the conference semifinals, we all made predictions. Why don't we each just read what we put? JD, we'll start with you. You can go left to right.
Okay. Am I doing Minnesota Golden State also?
You're doing all of them, buddy.
All of
Like
yours.
you're reading your predictions.
All of them.
all-
Yes.
Okay. There's only 4 of them.
Okay. Well, I was like,
It's not complicated.
I'm asking you to read the encyclopedia.
it's good. Look, we've been podcasts for
Read
an hour
all
and
of
a
ours
half.
off.
I predicted that the Thunder would beat the Nuggets in 5 games. What an asshole.
You got a point that the Thunder did
Got a
win the
point.
series.
I predicted that Minnesota would beat Golden State in 5 games, which was correct.
3 points.
I was the only one of us to get that correct, which is cool. I predicted that Cleveland would beat Indiana in 6. That didn't happen. I predicted Boston would win that series in 5. That didn't happen. And that's it.
Justin, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I said OKC in 6, and I'm so mad at myself for not sticking with my gut and saying 7. The number of OKC in 5s spooked me, and I said 6. And anyway, I'll take it. In Minnesota Golden State, I said Minnesota in 7. I think the Steph injury changed that series dramatically, so I'm not going to dwell on that one. Eastern Conference, I said Cleveland in 6, yikes, and Boston in 5, double yikes.
Taylor.
I had OKC in 6 and Minnesota in 6 in the West. Not terrible. And then Cleveland in 5 and Boston in 6. Not great.
Nick.
I had Thunder in 6, Minnesota in 6. Point for both of those. I was right, but not on the number. I was the only one that thought the East games would be more difficult than the average person. I had both Cleveland and Boston winning in 6. Still wrong, but I was closer than all of you.
Just slightly less wrong.
No
Of course,
participation
that's
medals here.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
I had Thunder in 5. Got 1 point for that. I had Minnesota in 4. Got a point for that. I had Cleveland and Boston both in 5. Got 0 points for that. I'm not great at math here. Let's see. Nick has a total of 15 points. Taylor has a total of 12. Justin has a total of 11. I have a total of 15, matching Nick, and JD has a total of 13. And it is now time to make conference finals predictions. We lost Nick, though.
He had a pee, per usual.
Airing it out.
Per usual.
Nothing secret
Man
with
always
TP.
has a piss.
No.
All right. Taylor, why don't you piss out your prediction here? Nick's Indiana in the East. Who's winning it and how many games?
I've gone back and forth on this. I think all the national media and analytic darlings are going to pick the Pacers, and rightfully so. But we've seen this playoffs be weird. Knicks in 7.
All right.
I like it.
JD, what do you got in the East?
I haven't thought about this prediction until this very moment. And I'm just going to follow my gut here and go with what sounds fun. And that is Knicks in 6.
Knicks
Just
in
fun to
6.
say.
Pick up sticks.
Yep, it's fun to say.
Justin, what do you got?
Pacers in 6. I think the Pacers are playing really well. If they can continue to get that production out of their role players, they're going to be rolling into the finals. NBA media market nightmare if that happens.
I love it.
Yeah.
Indiana versus Minnesota or OKC. Like that is something.
Give me, for narrative purposes, I want the Knicks to win. I'm going to also go Knicks in 6, pick up sticks.
And
Nick.
Nick had a piss. Boom.
Nick, what do you got?
We're going just East right now.
Just
Yeah.
East. What do you got?
Yeah.
I've got Knicks in 7.
Okay.
Wow. I really
Smart
thought more of
man.
us would pick the Pacers.
I'm surprised too. I was
I
the
think
only one.
the Pacers' offense is at an unsustainable level.
You could always say that about the Pacers, though.
I also think that the wing scores that the Pacers have, like New York is literally built to defend wings.
Agreed.
Just built. That's what their team is.
All right. The moment everyone's been waiting for. Western Conference Finals. Thunder versus Wolves. Ant versus SGA. Rudy Gobert versus COVID-19.
Please no.
Not
Nicholas
again.
Crane.
Not again.
At least it doesn't have whatever Porzingis has. That's like a scary thing, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Nicholas Crane. Thunder Wolves. Who wins and how many games?
I be careful what I say here. I think
Oh God.
I think that the narrative that whoever won the Nuggets Thunder series was the finals winner is so off.
Agreed.
Like so off. I think the Timberwolves are a much better team than the Nuggets. Obviously, they don't have a Jokic, but I think they're a much better team. I think that while they've had maybe an easier road than the Thunder, I like the Warriors. I'll give it to you. No Steph Warriors, you should beat them the way you beat them. The Lakers were not just like this easy out in the first round. Like their first round
No
series
center and Luka with a tummy ache.
who cares, dude? It's the LeBron and Luka playoff Lakers. That's not an easy series. I think the Timberwolves will be harder to beat than the Nuggets. That said, I think that if the Thunder didn't blow game one, it would have been a 5-game series anyways. I know I'm going long, but I have to be careful because people are gonna in the chat gonna.
People were hating you for your prediction on
I
the
know.
series from the beginning of the show.
I know.
Yep.
They didn't even know it
made
yet.
it yet.
All that to say, I had Thunder in 6 last round. I think that if you screw around and you lose a game one the way you did in this round, you don't win. Like you don't turn around and win. The Timberwolves are a better team than Nuggets. They're deeper than the Nuggets. I'm going to do Thunder in 7. But this is not an easy test. This is not like don't buy the narrative that since the Thunder got past the Nuggets, it's their finals to win. Like the Timberwolves are better than the Nuggets and it'll be harder than the Nuggets to beat, in my opinion.
TP.
So I tweeted out during Game 6, Nick, that this was essentially the NBA Finals because of the level of play.
I love
the back and
Taylor's
forth.
start too. Well, when I was born in 1996,
95, buddy.
That's what Nick just did. I get to do it too,
1995.
right?
when I was born and Bill Clinton,
When I was born in the year 2000.
You guys are just making this go longer. That's what she said. I think this is going to be a long series because of the grueling series that Denver and OKC just played. I think either team are going to struggle more against the Wolves because of the series that they just came out of. And like a lot of things you mentioned, I mean, this Wolves team is solid. I think it's going to be a battle. I discounted the Nuggets coming into previous series, and I said I would have preferred to play the Nuggets over the Clippers. I think I was wrong there. So I'm also going Thunder in 7.
Justin.
I agree with a lot of what both of you said. I think Minnesota's defense is far superior to Denver's. And that's hard to say coming off the series we just came off because I think Denver's success was because of their schemes, not because of their talent. Minnesota's defensive talent is so much higher than Denver's. So to see what they'll do with their schemes will be interesting. They may or may not find as much success defensively as the Nuggets did. I also think a large part of the Nuggets' defensive success was the Thunder shooting single digits at times. I think that's a big factor. Yes! Oh, sorry. You have to interrupt me because Dave just super chatted. We've literally been podcasting for an hour and 40 minutes just hoping.
We've been waiting
up.
for you, Dave.
Dave said this works every time. I was wrong. This donation strategy is 4 for 4 this round. I'm the X Factor. So go ahead and chalk that up as a
All right,
game one
Question.
win.
YouTube question. Is Dave when he posts this super chat, is he live where we are, or in theory could Dave have just started the pod and heard us talking about him and he's like an hour and a half behind
Whoa,
listening?
This is a multiverse.
Time travel.
You know what I mean? Like, what if
Yeah.
Dave
Great
just started the
point.
show late and he's
I think Dave tuned in and he's seeing us talk right now.
I think you're right.
Also, the
notable.
chat is going insane for Dave.
Hey.
Everyone
I don't know where
Dave.
I don't know where Dave lives,
Dave,
but
Dave.
his donations say NT, which is Taiwan.
whoa,
That's
attaboy, Dave.
amazing.
Let's go.
So
See,
Dave
Dave
might be
doesn't know
tuning
we
in from
mentioned him.
Taiwan.
My
Dave, we've been
dream-
waiting for you, brother.
Dave, look at the chat. The
See,
chat is
Dave
full
said-
of people
wait,
just saying
Dave
Dave.
to me. So Dave must have joined live but missed the first hour 40.
Where we
I
were
love
making
that.
grand.
Dave,
Yes.
you're like a bullet point on our outline, buddy.
You're a
Yeah.
hero.
Go back and
My-
listen, Dave.
My dream is for us to be like game, I don't know, what would it be? Game 5 in Paycom, and all of a sudden Thunder are down a little, but we're hoping for a comeback. And the crowd starts chanting, Dave,
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 Dave.
Dave.
Jumbotron pops up with Dave NT 170 in green.
It's just a Venmo
Donation.
code. I love that. What was I saying?
was your
This series.
Shout out Dave.
Well, I feel way better.
best
Thunder in
live
4
chat.
after Dave's donation. No,
This is the best live chat we've ever had, by the way. The amount of comments for Dave right now are just through the roof.
Our 7th man.
oh,
Incredible.
carefully now. He's a hero. This series, the Timberwolves defense is going to be a challenge. It's interesting. I think a lot of Minnesota fans would have similar sound bites to the Thunder in that they've got shooters that were really good in the regular season. They've not been great. Like DiVincenzo's not been great from deep. Does that continue? Does one of these teams get hot? Or do they both continue to just shoot horrendously? I think that'll be a big factor to watch. And then what happens in the interior? Can Oklahoma City score inside when they need a bucket? If the shots aren't falling, they were able to go to that against Denver. Can they against Minnesota? I don't know. I'm with Nick. I'm going Thunder in 7, but I legitimately considered while I was going to pick up dinner today going Timberwolves in 7. I think it's going to be a dogfight.
Nick and Taylor. Thank you very much, Justin.
I wasn't listening to you.
JD.
Per usual.
Love you, Taylor.
Yeah, I feel a little more optimistic about this series than I think the rest of you.
Call the
guys
sweep. Call the
do.
sweep, Silva.
Hell no. I don't think what I learned from the last series is that in a dogfight like that, having 3 guys that can execute your game plan no matter what is how you win playoff games. I think the trio of Jokic, Murray, and Gordon, there's not a trio like that. There's not a group of guys that can execute their offensive game plan no matter what on the Timberwolves to the same level, I don't think. So while I do totally agree that the Timberwolves are a much deeper team, they have more tools in the tool belt, they can throw more things at the Thunder. I think from an execution standpoint, they are nowhere close to the Nuggets in terms of like finishing close games, shutting down certain ways that the Thunder play. I think this series is fully in front of the Thunder. They can win if they play to their standards. I said this about the Nuggets series, I know. But I think they learned a lot from the Nuggets series, and I'm picking Thunder in 6. I'm still saying 6. I will respect them. I will not pick in 5 in the playoffs probably ever again after the last series.
That's fair.
Gun shy.
Yes.
All right, Jacob, give us a sweep. Sweep, 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 sweep.
I think the Thunder are the better team. I think the Thunder are the deeper team. I think the Thunder have the more talent. I think the Wolves have more size. I think both defenses are going to be nasty. I think JD has said this a lot. I think Anthony Edwards throws up some absolute stinkers that never get talked about. And he just gets glazed for his great games. I'm on team JD. I'm going Thunder in 6. And my prediction, well, a lot of our predictions, but I want Thunder versus Knicks finals. I want the state population of 4 million versus the city population of 17 million. I want the Mecca versus the backwoods.
That's where I live.
The question I have for you, Jacob, I'm going to
I'm
flip it
ready.
on you now, Mr. Host.
Of course you are.
Thunder win in 5 if. What
that's
makes
good.
you go from 6 to 5?
They shoot their season average on same volume from 3.
Which was
If
what?
they
38-ish?
shot 37, 38% on 39 attempts a game.
Okay.
If they do that, they win this in 5, maybe 4.
Jacob Nippen's hair says what I have been thinking all along is that Minnesota doesn't have Jokic. And Jokic got
true.
them a good shot on like every possession if they wanted to. Up until this last game, of course. But
And that's kind of an interesting thing. I think the Thunder, this previous series, tried so hard to prevent Jokic from scoring in the paint, right? And trying to get him to throw out to open shooters. Where in this series, I think they're going to focus much more on getting the ball away from Edwards and some of these perimeter guards and, let Rudy Gobert beat you down low. I think that's something to keep an eye on. It's kind of a 180 from the previous series.
Gentlemen, I think that'll do it. Hour 45-minute pod.
Yeah, we should probably call
About
it
as
a night.
long as the game.
I will do it.
Hey, it was needed. Biggest
It was.
win in
It
the
was.
franchise in a decade. Headed to the Western Conference Finals in 48 hours. Feel like we got a lot of time to do this preview. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for riding with us. Game 7 was a blast. Get ready for a handful more before the NBA Finals. We will be back here Tuesday nights about 10:30 after game 1. So make sure to tune in then. Sub to the YouTube channel, hit the little bell, get the notifications whenever we go live. Join our Patreon. You can hop in the Discord. The Discord was incredible today. Shout out Thunder Chick for putting the graphics together for us tonight and keeping track of all the stuff that we refuse to keep track of. Western Conference Finals, folks. We're here. We will see you Tuesday night. Until then, and as always, Thunder up.